Listen to me right now. Do not spend another penny until you watch this video. Somewhere in America, an old coin jar is sitting on a shelf. A dusty piggy bank is hiding in a closet. A forgotten collection is tucked away in a drawer. And inside one of them could be a Lincoln Wheat Penny that collectors dream about finding. Most people see these coins and think they're just old pennies. But collectors see something completely different. They see history. They see rarity. They see clues left behind by the United States Mint decades ago. Today's story is about 3 Lincoln Wheat Pennies that continue to fascinate collectors across the country. These are coins that have survived generations, passed through countless hands, and quietly witnessed some of the most important moments in American history. What makes them so special is not just their age. It's the hidden details, the preservation, the minting characteristics, and the collector demand that surround them. As we move through today's journey, you'll discover why these pennies remain among the most talked about coins in American numismatics. And trust me, the final penny in today's countdown has a story that surprises even experienced collectors. Stay with me, because this is a coin hunting adventure you won't forget. Hello, coin collectors, good news for you. If you love discovering rare coins and learning the secrets behind America's most fascinating treasures, welcome to USA Mint Coin. Here we explore historic coins, collector favorites, valuable varieties, grading insights, and the stories that make ordinary pocket change extraordinary. Today we're diving deep into 3 remarkable Lincoln Wheat Pennies that continue to capture the attention of collectors throughout the United States. Let's begin with our first coin and uncover the story hidden within this small piece of American history. The 1946 Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. Imagine opening an old family coin album that has not been touched for decades. You slowly turn each page until one small brown penny catches your attention. It is a 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny. To most people, it looks like an ordinary 1-cent coin. To a dedicated coin collector, however, this little piece of copper represents a fascinating chapter in American history. The year 1946 marked the first full year after World War II. America was entering a new era. Millions of soldiers had returned home. Industries were changing from wartime production back to everyday life. And the United States Mint continued producing Lincoln Wheat Pennies that would circulate through every corner of the country. Every purchase, every newspaper, every candy bar, and every cup of coffee could have involved one of these pennies. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays the famous wheat ears that collectors around the world recognize instantly. This classic design remained in production from 1909 until 1958, making it one of the most iconic coins in American history. Now, here is where the story becomes interesting. Not every 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny is considered rare. Millions were struck at different United States Mint facilities. That means finding one is certainly possible. The real challenge is finding one with exceptional preservation or a significant mint error. That is exactly where experienced collectors begin paying close attention. Before revealing what makes one example far more desirable than another, let's first understand the physical characteristics of this historic coin. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny has a diameter of approximately 19.005 millimeters. Its thickness is about 1.55 millimeters. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams because it was produced using a bronze alloy made primarily of copper, with small amounts of tin and zinc. These specifications help collectors confirm authenticity while examining a coin. Condition is one of the biggest factors affecting value. A heavily worn coin that spent decades in circulation will usually show flat details on Lincoln's portrait and worn wheat ears on the reverse. Those coins are common and generally valued modestly. However, a coin that somehow escaped circulation and still displays its original mint luster immediately becomes much more desirable. Professional collectors often use terms like good, very fine, extremely fine, about uncirculated, and mint state. Once a coin reaches mint state grades, every tiny detail matters. Even the smallest scratch or contact mark can influence its grade. This is where professional grading companies enter the story. Organizations such as PCGs and NGC carefully examine coins using strict grading standards. They authenticate the coin, evaluate its preservation, and assign a numerical grade on the internationally recognized Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A higher certified grade can significantly increase collector demand because buyers know the condition has been independently verified. But there is another reason collectors become excited when examining a 1946 wheat penny. They are always searching for unusual characteristics. A dramatic off-center strike, a clipped planche, a die crack, or other genuine mint errors can make a specific example much more collectible than a typical coin. These unusual varieties remind us that even small differences created during the minting process can become important decades later. Imagine searching through a jar filled with old pennies inherited from a grandparent. Most of the coins look ordinary until one bright wheat penny stands out. You carefully place it under a magnifying glass. The lettering appears unusually sharp. Lincoln's hair still shows impressive detail. The wheat stalks remain bold. Suddenly, your curiosity grows. Could this coin be in exceptional condition? Could it be worth sending to PCGs or NGC for professional authentication? That moment of discovery is exactly why millions of Americans continue searching through old collections every year. Coin collecting is not only about money, it is about preserving history, learning the stories behind each issue, and appreciating the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. If you believe you have a promising example, never attempt to clean it. Cleaning removes original surfaces and can dramatically reduce collector value. Instead, hold the coin carefully by its edges, store it in a protective holder, and consider having it evaluated by a reputable professional. When the time comes to sell a valuable certified coin, knowledgeable collectors usually look toward established auction houses, reputable coin dealers, major coin shows, or respected online marketplaces that specialize in numismatics. A professionally graded coin generally attracts more buyer confidence than an uncertified example because its authenticity and condition have already been verified. As our journey through the first coin comes to an end, remember this important lesson. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny is far more than a piece of old pocket change. It is a surviving witness to post-war America, a treasured collectible for generations of numismatists, and a reminder that remarkable discoveries often begin with a single careful look. Whether your example is common or truly exceptional depends on its condition, originality, rarity, and any authentic mint errors it may possess. That is why collectors continue searching for this classic wheat penny, hoping that the next remarkable discovery could be waiting in the very next handful of coins. The 1952 D. Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. By now, you've already seen how an ordinary-looking wheat penny can hold decades of American history. But our journey is only becoming more interesting. The next coin carries a different story, one that begins in Denver, Colorado, where millions of Lincoln Wheat Pennies were struck during a time when the United States was experiencing rapid economic growth. Hidden among those countless coins are examples that continue to attract the attention of collectors across the country. Imagine walking through an antique shop on a quiet Saturday afternoon. In the corner sits a small wooden box labeled Old Pennies. Most people glance at it for only a second before moving on. A collector, however, stops immediately. They understand that treasures are often found in the most ordinary places. One by one, the pennies are examined under good lighting. Suddenly, a small D mint mark appears beneath the date. It's a 1952 D Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it doesn't seem extraordinary. The familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln appears on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse proudly displays the iconic wheat ears that symbolize one of the most beloved designs in American coin history. Yet experienced collectors know that the true story of any coin is never revealed in the first few seconds. It takes patience, knowledge, and a careful eye to understand what makes one example stand apart from another. The Denver Mint produced a large number of these pennies, meaning that most circulated examples are relatively common today. However, the story changes dramatically when a coin survives in remarkable condition. Many pennies spent years moving through grocery stores, gas stations, schools, restaurants, and banks. They picked up scratches, wear, and discoloration from everyday use. Finding one that escaped heavy circulation is what makes collectors pause. Before we continue, let's examine the specifications that every serious collector should know. The 1952 D Lincoln Wheat Penny has a diameter of approximately 19.05 millimeters. Its thickness measures about 1.55 millimeters. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and was struck using a bronze alloy composed primarily of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. These measurements are essential because they help verify authenticity when evaluating a coin. Now comes one of the most important lessons in numismatics. Condition often matters more than age. Two identical coins can have dramatically different market values simply because one has been preserved far better than the other. A heavily worn coin with flattened details usually attracts less collector interest than a sharply preserved example displaying original mint luster. Professional grading companies such as PCGs and NGC play an important role in determining a coin's collectible status. Specialists carefully inspect the surfaces, strike quality, luster, color, and overall preservation before assigning an official numerical grade using the Sheldon scale. A certified mint state example often receives significantly more attention from collectors because its authenticity and condition have been independently confirmed. But condition is only part of the story. Every experienced collector also searches for genuine mint errors and unusual die varieties. An off-center strike, a clipped planchet, die cracks, repunched mint marks on certain issues, or other production abnormalities can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a fascinating collectible. These mint-made differences are part of what keeps coin collecting exciting, because every coin has the potential to tell a unique story. Picture yourself searching through a roll of old wheat pennies inherited from a family member. Most coins show years of circulation, but one immediately catches your eye. The color looks richer. The lettering appears crisp. Lincoln's beard and hair remain sharply defined. Even the wheat stalks on the reverse still display impressive detail. At that moment, excitement begins to build. Could this coin deserve professional grading? Could it be a premium collector example? That anticipation is one of the reasons numismatics has fascinated Americans for generations. Coin collecting is not simply about finding expensive coins. It is about discovering history that has survived in metal for decades. Every scratch tells part of a journey. Every mark raises another question, Every well-preserved coin represents an incredible survivor. One mistake many beginners make is cleaning old coins before showing them to an expert. Although it may seem like a good idea, cleaning often damages the original surface and reduces collector appeal. Experienced numismatists recommend leaving the coin exactly as it was found. Hold it only by the edges, store it in a proper holder, and avoid polishing or rubbing the surfaces. If your coin appears unusually well preserved or displays a possible mint error, consider having it authenticated by PCGs or NGC. Professional certification not only confirms authenticity, but also gives potential buyers greater confidence when the coin is eventually offered for sale. When it comes time to sell, reputable auction houses, established coin dealers, major coin shows, and respected online numismatic marketplaces are generally the best places to reach knowledgeable collectors. Certified coins often attract stronger interest because buyers know exactly what they are purchasing. Now let's return to the question everyone has been waiting for. Could a 1952 D Lincoln Wheat Penny be worth significant money? The answer depends entirely on the individual coin. Most circulated examples are common, but exceptionally preserved specimens and authentic error varieties can command much stronger prices than ordinary pieces. That is why collectors examine every detail so carefully before making conclusions. As we conclude the story of coin number 2, remember that the 1952 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than an old cent. It represents American craftsmanship, post-war history, and the excitement of the hunt that has inspired collectors for generations. Every coin carries its own journey, and every discovery reminds us that remarkable treasures are often hiding where few people think to look. In the next chapter of our documentary, we'll uncover the final Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin whose story has kept collectors searching year after year, and whose hidden details may surprise you the most. The 1953 D Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. Every great collection has one coin that quietly stands apart from the rest. It may not be the oldest coin in the album, it may not have the brightest color or the most dramatic appearance, yet somehow it captures the attention of every collector who sees it. For many Lincoln Wheat Penny enthusiasts, the 1953 D represents exactly that kind of discovery. It reminds us that the true excitement of coin collecting isn't simply about finding an old penny, it's about uncovering the story that has traveled with it for generations. Imagine a grandfather handing a small cloth bag of pennies to his grandchild. He smiles and says, "These have been with our family for a very long time. Take good care of them." Years later, that same bag is finally opened. Inside are dozens of wheat pennies, each carrying memories of another era. One coin immediately stands out. Under the date is a tiny D mint mark, showing it was struck at the Denver Mint. It is a 1953 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that has quietly survived more than 70 years of American history. During the early 1950s, America was growing rapidly. Families were buying new homes, highways were expanding, businesses were thriving, and millions of Lincoln Wheat Pennies changed hands every single day. Most were spent without a second thought. Children used them to buy candy. Shopkeepers counted them into cash registers. Banks rolled them into paper wrappers. Very few people imagined that decades later, collectors would carefully examine these same coins under magnification, searching for tiny details that could make one example stand above another. The design remained one of the most recognizable in United States coinage. On the obverse is Abraham Lincoln, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. His portrait symbolizes honesty, leadership, and perseverance. On the reverse are the famous wheat ears, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This reverse design became an icon of American numismatics and continues to be admired by collectors throughout the world. Before we explore what makes this coin desirable, let's review its official specifications. The 1953 D Lincoln Wheat Penny has a diameter of approximately 19.05 millimeters. Its thickness measures about 1.55 millimeters. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and is composed primarily of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. These characteristics are important because experienced collectors always compare a coin's physical specifications with official mint standards when checking authenticity. Now the mystery begins. Why would one 1953 D Lincoln Wheat Penny receive little attention while another attracts serious collector interest? The answer lies in several important factors. The first is preservation. A coin that spent decades in circulation usually shows flattened details, dull surfaces, and numerous contact marks. A coin that remained carefully stored may still display original mint luster, sharp lettering, and well-defined features. That difference alone can dramatically influence collector demand. Professional grading companies such as PCGs and NGC evaluate these details with extraordinary precision. Every certified coin is carefully examined for strike quality, surface preservation, luster, eye appeal, and originality before receiving an official grade on the Sheldon scale. Collectors often prefer certified coins because the authentication and grading provide confidence in what they are buying. But experienced numismatists never stop with condition alone. They also search for unusual mint characteristics, die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped planches, and other genuine production errors can transform an ordinary-looking coin into a highly collectible example. These mint-made varieties tell fascinating stories about how coins were produced and remind us that perfection was not always possible during the minting process. Picture yourself searching through a coffee can filled with old pennies collected over several decades. One by one, you inspect each coin beneath a bright light. Most show heavy wear. Then suddenly, one catches your attention. Lincoln's portrait remains remarkably sharp. The wheat stalks still display crisp lines. The surfaces reflect traces of original luster. Your excitement begins to grow. Could this be a premium quality example? Is it worth sending to a professional grading service? Those questions are exactly what make coin collecting so rewarding. One of the biggest mistakes new collectors make is attempting to clean an old coin before having it evaluated. Cleaning can permanently alter the original surfaces and often reduces collector appeal. Instead, experienced collectors recommend handling the coin only by its edges, storing it in a protective holder, and preserving it exactly as it was found. Education is another valuable part of the hobby. Successful collectors spend time learning about minting techniques, grading standards, genuine error varieties, and historical production records. The more knowledge you gain, the easier it becomes to recognize coins that deserve closer examination. Sometimes the smallest detail can separate an ordinary coin from one that attracts significant collector interest. If you believe your 1953 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is exceptionally well preserved or displays a possible mint error, professional authentication through PCGs or NGC is often the next logical step. Once certified, the coin may appeal to a wider audience of collectors who value independent verification of authenticity and condition. When it comes time to sell a certified coin, many experienced collectors choose reputable auction houses, established coin dealers, major coin shows, or respected online numismatic marketplaces. These venues connect sellers with knowledgeable buyers who understand the importance of grading, originality, and rarity. As we reach the conclusion of today's documentary, remember that the true value of a 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny depends on its individual characteristics. While most examples are common circulation coins, exceptional high-grade specimens or authentic mint-era varieties can attract far greater collector interest than ordinary pieces. Every coin deserves to be examined carefully before assumptions are made. The greatest lesson from today's journey is that remarkable discoveries rarely announce themselves. They often appear as ordinary coins, hiding in old collections, forgotten jars, inherited albums, or boxes tucked away in attics. The next Lincoln Wheat Penny you examine could simply be another piece of history, or it could be the beginning of an unforgettable collecting story. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching, learning, and preserving these remarkable pieces of American history for future generations.